So this is the first time we've allowed her to go out by herself outside of the subdivision. She's actually going to go have lunch. That's probably maybe 15 to 20 kilometers away. I don't know when you let them go, but apparently it's right now. Anyways, let's get into it.
Yeah, so my 16-year-old daughter, what led us to allowing her to go out on the bike herself? I mean, the easiest answer would be, my mirror's all screwed up. The easiest answer would be, was the way we were raised, right? You left in the morning, you came back before the lights came on at night, right? But no, joking aside, oh god, there's a skunk there. Woo, stinks. We try to give our kids a lot of leeway. We're the type of parents that we just keep giving you the rope, you know. If you're gonna hang yourself, you hang yourself. But until you give us a reason not to trust you, we're gonna trust you. Having said that, it's not that we didn't trust her to go out on the bike by herself. It's more one of those things, and I always taught her, even when she's learning to drive, is just assume no one else on the road knows how to ride, knows how to drive, and you'll be better off. So if you see someone driving beside you, don't assume that they know they should stay in their own lane and they're not going to veer off into you. So yeah, we have tried to give them a lot of leeway, and when it came to the motorcycle, I mean, you see it. Anyone that rides, anyone that's watching this obviously rides. Everyone tells you how dangerous it is. I was actually out having a couple of beers with a couple of buddies of mine, and one is a cop, and I mentioned that that weekend my daughter was going to get her M2 license with, and both of them lost their shit on me. What are you doing? You know how many times the cop was telling me all these accidents. Even one of his co-workers died in an accident up in Wasaga Beach. That's only about an hour and a bit away from me. They just kept going on and on about how dangerous it was, and why would we let her get her license? When the cop actually realized that I ride, then he was like, oh, okay, no, you know what, he knows how to ride, he knows all the ins and outs. You know, it's a little different than if my daughter just went ahead and wanted to get her license and no one there to help teach her to ride and how to ride properly and everything. So the cop actually came around once he found out that I rode. So long story short there, that is one of the reasons why we weren't just going to allow her to go out. And anyone that's taken those MSF courses or any whatever it's called here, rider safety courses here in Canada, you all know those bikes that you ride on, they're pretty small, pretty rinky-dink. Not the bike that we have that she has now isn't small. It's a 400, so it's small in size of motor, but in size of the bike, like, it's still a big bike. I've come to realize that when people talk about beginner bikes, they don't necessarily mean small. My wife, I think she's on her tippy toes on the Royal Enfield. She's about 5'6"-ish. My daughter's 5'8", so she can flat foot, but even her, you can see there's times where the height, not for stopping and starting and all that, the height there is not an issue. She's very good at the 1 foot down and everything. However, maneuvering around in the garage to get it out, that was actually the first sign for us. She had to get used to doing that, and she's like me. When she goes to parking lots, she tries to park away from everyone, so it's not really a big issue. However, it doesn't mean it can't be a big issue. So that was the first thing we looked for, or at least I looked for, is her being able to maneuver the bike around just manually, just walking it around. Because even when she's sitting on it, she is like, it's it's a tall bike. It's a lot taller than what the Softail is. So it takes her a little bit to maneuver. She's ginger with it and everything. Over time she'll get a lot better, and she has gotten a lot better actually. So once she was able to do that, that led us to the next thing. One was watching her go around the block, because we started her off just going around the block, just to make sure she was comfortable with the bike. It's a new bike for her, right? She used the one in the MSF course, or in the rider safety course, and then she got this bike. So learning to ride a different bike than what she was used to. So we wanted to make sure she was comfortable doing that, just going around our block. She did that for, well, probably about a week. And then after that we allowed her to go around just the subdivision area. So it was a little bit bigger of an area, still only 40 kilometers an hour. And like I've mentioned in previous videos, that's how I started off riding, because I didn't have my license, I didn't have insurance, I didn't have anything. So I rode around the subdivision, and I think that helped me become a better rider, because riding at slow speeds, I got used to the weight of the bike, maneuvering it, slow stops, slow turns. I think it made me a better rider. Do I still need to work on that? Hell yeah, I do, but I think that helped. So having her do that and slow speed stuff, I think it will, in the long run, make her a better rider sooner. Maybe not overall. Eventually everything would catch up, but I think in the interim it's going to get her there quicker. From there, the next thing, and it was one of the big things, well, the next thing actually was her knowing the rules of the road, which kind of might sound kind of dumb, but she's a new rider and she's a new driver. So she's not allowed to drive a she's not allowed to drive a car by herself right now. She only has her G1. She's not eligible to get, see, look at these guys, they just go, there's a stop sign right there. No way he was going to stop for that. That's one of the things pointing out my daughter. No one knows how to drive, only you. But yeah, learning the rules of the road. She is a new driver, she's a new rider. She's very competent at both. However, there's certain things, like we're actually driving, I had her driving the car the other day, and it was one of those turn signals to the left, and then it continues green. However, it was strictly a turn zone, and she went anyways because she thought the green light, you can go. So it's like little things like that it's kind of insignificant. There was no traffic around, so she was fine. She was no chance of getting hurt. However, she could be doing that when there is traffic, so we didn't want that. So that was the next one, is making sure she knew the rules of the road. The next one, and it's kind of a big one, and she hasn't quite got it yet, however we did allow her to start going, is being able to pick up the bike. I wish I'd taken a picture because it was kind of funny. We actually laid it down on the grass, and if you're going to do that, don't ride it first. Do it when it's cold. Or else, if you have a SCRAM 411, you're going to have a nice Nike swish of dead grass in your lawn. So with that, she can and she can't pick it up. So her problem right now is she doesn't have the technique down of squatting down and using her legs. She's still bending over at the hips. I know she can do it. I know she's strong enough to do it. Right now, it's literally just her technique. And if push came to shove, I know she'd be able to do it. But her sitting there knowing I'm gonna pick it up if she doesn't, kind of gets her not to do it. But yeah, that's one we should revisit just to make sure. But yeah, that was one of the pointers we wanted her to have, is be able to pick up the bike, because if she's going without someone, if she's going by herself, then that's something we need to know, right? That she can actually pick up the bike. I mean, most likely she might drop it while she's parking or something, right? I'm not worried about it at speed falling or anything. It would be more something simple like that. So yeah, that's one of the ones that we want to make sure she was able to pick up the bike. Again, she's pretty much there, however, it's a little iffy at the moment. Once she gets the technique down, she'll be able to do it. And then the last thing, it was more or less, it wasn't anything other than being a parent in 2023. Letting us know where you're going, who you're going with. She goes by herself, so that's not really a big deal, but who are you meeting up with? Just stuff that you have to be concerned with in 2023. I mean, it makes a huge difference nowadays when you have technology, and my wife wants to use one of those apps where it actually shows her location, so she knows where she is or was. It's not about spying on her, at least that's not what my wife says. It's more or less, if anything happens, we can look on there and see this is where she was however many hours ago. I trust my daughter. She's a good girl. She doesn't do anything too wrong, other than being a teenage girl. Anyone with teenage girls knows exactly what I'm talking about. We did have one incident, no crashes, no speed tickets, nothing like that. Was one where she was like, I want to go for a ride. Okay, where are you going? I don't know yet, I'll let you know. Well, like 2 hours had passed, and I text her, everything okay? And, oh yeah. And then she texts back saying, I'm like, well, where'd you go? And she's like, I'm in Wasaga Beach, which again, I mentioned earlier, it's like over an hour away from here, and it's where a lot of motorcyclist accidents happen in the summertime here in Southern Ontario. So I was a little irritated about that. We didn't ground her or anything, but it's like, no, this isn't happening. You're not doing it. And she's like, well, I didn't know I was going there until, you know, I remembered how to get there. And it's like, no, that's not, like, you have a cell phone, you know how to park the bike, you can pull over and text us and ask us. I think one of the reasons is that she probably knew we wouldn't have allowed her to go that far, but hey, she's done it now. We know she can do it. We know she's safe. Again, it's more worried about other drivers than my daughter. But yeah, that's kind of what our criteria was before we allowed her to go by herself. I mean, the one I'm forgetting is I did go riding with her quite a few times first. So we came and we rode like these roads around together, so I could see how she was riding to make sure she's not that she was comfortable. I was comfortable with the way she rode. Like I said, I think she's a great driver, or a great rider. I'm not too concerned with her getting into accidents other than another driver. So yeah, those are my things. Do you guys think I missed anything? Should I have added something, or something I should add right now? Like I've done in previous videos, I'm showing her how to do some of the maintenance on the bike, all the different parts, how to make sure the bike is okay to ride that day. I'm doing all that stuff as well. But yeah, let me know. Until next time, later.